but I can finish a race well if, I'm coming up to the finish line, I see somebody struggling or I see somebody fall. We see videos of people that have stopped and helped somebody else along the way, or helped them, get across the finish line without any regard to whether they finished first or whether they finished second or whichever one it is, and that's what it's about, finishing well, and in our marriage that me and Tracy have really, it's taken a long time, really, just working on it and all that, working through the 5 kids that we have and working through, their issues. All my kids are adopted, working through, son-in-law and the things that's happened to him, and working through my issues, with PTSD and chronic fatigue and everything, and so we're always trying to work on the things that we do. And if you're in a marriage relationship, if you're married right now, one of the profound things that I've heard in the last couple of years is, lead out of your marriage. If you're leading out of your marriage, you can't go wrong, because if we lead out of our marriage as Christ loved the church, think about that a minute. How much does Christ love us? How much did God love us to send his own son? And that's what's important, and if we're doing that in our marriage, if we're keeping our wife first, for loving her like God loves us, everything else is going to just flow out of it. And that's what's important, and that's what it's about, finishing well, and finishing this race called life with more zeal and more unctions and more things that we want to do and enjoy life, instead of just being just down and out all the time. Sometimes we get so caught up in the world and the things that are happening and things that are going on that we just don't understand. At least I don't understand why, we don't find the good in things sometimes. Sometimes it's all just, I'm going to complain about it, I'm going to complain about it, well, why not have a little gratitude about it? Why not think about, what am I thankful for? It's like today, what am I thankful for? I got to go out and I got to walk on a hill and suffer a little bit. Yeah, I'm thankful for that. But yeah, it's helping my health, helping my mental health, helping my emotional health, and all aspects of it, and it's something that me and Tracy are doing together. I started hiking with her and walking with her and stuff, and trying to work through my own physical issues with my feet and stuff, and it's tough sometimes, but it brings me joy to be able to do stuff like that with her, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for all the years that we've been together and we spent together. I met her 38 years ago, and so she's really just she's my best friend, my soulmate, the person that I love dearly. And I wouldn't trade what we've been through and what we've done for the world. Yeah, we've made mistakes, both of us. But you know what? That's how you learn. That's what happens. And so, as we finish well, I think that's what it's about. It's about lifting each other up. It's about helping each other. It's about being that person that you need to be. It's that person that God created you to be, that person that God called you to be. Every one of us has a different gift and has a different calling, and what is it? What is it for you? What is it? What are you getting out of it? What are you getting out of this thing called life? And that's it's what you make it. I heard the other day, what you put in is what you're going to get out. And if you put in plenty of gratitude and plenty of love and plenty of everything else, guess what you're going to get out of it? You're going to get a good life out of it. But if all you're doing is complaining and griping and wishing that stuff would change and all that, and you're just not doing anything about it, well, guess what? You're just going to be stuck where you're at. And that's what life is, And yeah, you can finish strong. You can push through all of it. You can be miserable your whole life. But why not finish well instead of finishing strong? And look for those people that you can help. Look for those things that give you joy. Look for those things that are in your life that that you need to pursue, that you need to go after, that you need to run after. Chase after God first, and let God's love change you and transform you, because that's where it all comes from. It all comes from Him. It comes from our Creator, because He created us all special in our own ways, and in different ways and different seasons and for different times. Like, there's times in my life that it wasn't my time, and I still tried to do what I wanted to do. And when I finally got into that flow and that rhythm of what God wanted me to do, that's when things started to change in my life, and my attitude and my emotions, my spirituality, everything began to change and transform. So I guess today, all I want to tell you is, finish well. Don't worry about finishing strong. Just finish well. And if you are struggling with something today, let me know. Let me know in the comments, so I can pray with you, or just say, hey, I'm just struggling. Not tell me what it is or anything. There's people that watch the podcast or watch my channel that, they'll pray for you. I have one of my buddies this morning that messaged me and said, pray for my grandson Ashton. So if you're listening, lift up Ashton in prayer. And God is moving. God is doing things. God is doing radical things in this world that we don't see. And most of the time, all we see is the bad in everything. So I'm going to leave you with that. This is kind of long. I'm going to divide it up a little bit. We'll make it into reels and all of that. But you know what? I love you guys. Thanks for listening, and I will see you on the flip side.